What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I feel bad. I haven't made a video in 2 weeks, and I'm trying to grow my audience and all that, and I want to be consistent, and I tell myself, be consistent with the videos, but it's just so hard because most of my channel is dedicated to Philadelphia sports, and they just are determined to make my life a living hell, specifically the Sixers this time of year, and somehow since the last time we talked, which was the game where they lost by about 50 points to the Spurs, things have gotten worse for the Sixers because Joel Embiid was out, and he still hasn't come back yet. Paul George is out, suspended, still hasn't come back yet. He's slated to come back, I believe, in the next few games. The Chicago game, I believe. So I think he has one more game missed. And things have gotten worse because they've lost Tyrese Maxey to what looked like a broken hand at first in the Atlanta game when he collided with the Dembono when there was like 7 seconds remaining. Then they lost Kelly Oubre to, I believe, an elbow injury. So all these players are out. But then things have also kind of gotten better because all the teams ahead of them in the standings are losing. The Heat are losing. The Magic are losing. The Hawks have won like 10 in a row before tonight. But they haven't made up any ground, really. So the Sixers are only like a half game back of the 6th seed. So all this nonsense that's occurring, Paul George's suspension, Joel Embiid being a part-time player, only playing 33 games. Paul George, I believe, has only played 27. Tyrese Maxey is out. Kelly Oubre is out. We're having to watch lineups with Andre Drummond and Jabari Walker and Cam Payne and all this nonsense. They can't shoot from three. It wasn't until last game that they were shooting 25% from three since Tyrese Maxey had gone out in that Atlanta game. It was like a 7-game sample size, I believe, until last night where they shot the cover off the ball against the Kings and VJ had his great game. So things have been going badly for them. Just because guys are just in and out of the I shouldn't even say in and out of the lineup. They're out of the lineup, but in the big picture, they actually have a chance to avoid the play-in. And it's funny because if you asked me like a week ago, not even a week ago, I would have told you they were on their way to being the 10 seed, playing the Charlotte Hornets in the first round of the play-in, and they would have got their ass kicked because Charlotte moves the ball so well, and the Sixers, we all know, are famously bad at overhelping and leaving shooters wide open. That would be a disaster. Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball would shoot threes and just beat them by 20-plus points. And don't get me wrong, there's still problems with Nick Nurse, and there's still problems with this team. But that is all being said, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I don't think the Sixers are going to get Joel Embiid back and Paul George back, and everything's just going to come together and be like, oh, this is a championship contending team that only has played 16 games together, I believe, so far with their intended starting lineup. I believe there's still going to be a first-round exit if they make it out of the play-in. But things aren't as dire as it was just a few days ago. Now, that being said, they still need to win games that they should win, even without their key players playing. They're going to be without Tyrese. Joel is out again tomorrow against Utah. Paul George is out. Kelly Oubre is out. But again, it is the Utah Jazz. They are tanking. They barely beat them at home with Tyrese Maxey. They need to win by at least 10-plus points tomorrow. It should not be a close game. Just like the Kings game should not have been a close game. It was a close game for a little while because Nick Nurse went back to his old bag of tricks and he played Kyle Lowry, who was a minus 11 in like 5 minutes. You can't do that, please. Just all I'm asking from Nick Nurse and basically any Sixers coach is just clear the very low bar that is being one of the worst head coaches in the league. Stop playing old players. Stop administering these terrible techniques where you overhelp. Just be a normal coach. Just sit back and let the players play. Maybe call a few plays here and there. Play your best players. VJ has been inconsistent, but he had a career night the other night. Justin Edwards, I don't know why Justin Edwards is like a 6'8 wing. He can get to a spot in the mid-range whenever he can. He can hit threes. I don't know why he has been more consistent this year. That being said, he had a great game the other night. It's March. Crazy shit happens. This is the time of the year where I always say it doesn't really matter what certain players are doing, how certain teams are playing. The only thing that matters is wins and losses. You're going against teams in March, during March Madness. They're seeing Cam Boozer. They're seeing DeBanza, Darren Peterson. They want to lose. The Jazz want to lose tomorrow. They might play their starters for the first half, sit on the second half. Just do whatever it takes to win. It doesn't have to be pretty, but just do things the right way. Don't play an all big lineup. Stop playing Trendon Watford, Andre Drummond, Jabari Walker together. Let's just get through this bad part of the season, get your guys healthy back quickly as possible. Hopefully they can all play together well, and we'll see what happens. And then we'll deal with all the other bullshit about Joel Embiid being a part-time player, Paul George not living up to his contract, Daryl Morey being a huge disaster. We'll leave that up to the offseason. Now, before I go, I do want to talk about Daryl Morey because there is a game coming up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we all know Jared McCain plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and there's been word on the street, and by street I mean Twitter, that the Sixers fans are organizing some sort of protest that game where they're going to give Jared McCain a standing ovation and chant "Fire Daryl" chants during the game, and I'm all for that. But I don't want this to be like only an Oklahoma City Thunder game and make this about Jared McCain, because this isn't about Jared McCain. I don't want Josh Harris, who was the owner, to watch this game and think, the fans are just, they're in their feelings. They're feeling sentimental about a likable player who painted his nails. He was cute. He was a favorite. They think we moved on him too soon. No, this isn't about Jared McCain. This is about everything. This is about handing Joel Embiid a contract that he didn't deserve before you saw him walk after injuring his leg in the playoffs and then playing in the Olympics unhealthy. This is about giving Paul George a contract extension that he's not lived up to. It'd be one thing if he was injured, but he's taking performance-enhancing drugs or some depression medication. I don't know. It's about that. It's about letting Isaiah Joe walk. It's about all these moves, the culmination of all these moves. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's why the Sixers are in the position they're in now, where it's you have good players, but they barely play, and then you can't survive without them. So I don't want everyone to be watching this protest and these Fire Daryl Morey chants. It's like, oh, they're just mad that Jared McCain got away. He's not a real star player. He's just a role player, and those people are missing the point. This isn't about Jared McCain. That was just like, I don't even want to say the icing on top, because the icing has been built up. The cake has been made a while ago, and the icing, the cherry on top, whatever you want to call it, whatever metaphor or analogy you want to use, that has been going on for quite some time. So the Jared McCain move wasn't even the worst move of the last 2 or 3 years for the Sixers. The Paul George and the Joel Embiid extensions and signings were way worse. So I love the passion from the fan base. I don't want it to be limited to that one game. Whenever the Sixers are losing, whenever they're overhelping, I want Fire Daryl more chance. I want booing. I want you to be so unreasonable that you get all the national TV people saying, wow, these Philly fans are rough, like they do with the Eagles. But the Eagles at least won a Super Bowl. The Sixers haven't even been to a conference final since before 9/11. I want them to go crazy and say, wow, why are they booing? Why is all this attention? There needs to be public pressure on Daryl Morey so that no matter what happens in the playoffs, even if they manage to get lucky and win around, that Nick Nurse is gone and Daryl Morey is gone. So, all in all, to summarize, things are looking better for the team, but things are also still bad, and we'll keep monitoring what's going on. But the Sixers have a chance to fight and scratch and claw their way out of the play-in and secure a first-round 7-game series, but we'll see. I mean, when they were fully healthy, they weren't winning games that they should have, so we'll see what happens. Anything can happen with this team. You never know. I'll be back with an update soon. I've just been avoiding talking about this team because they are so fucking depressing. But I'll be back soon. But in the meantime, give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.